And Amy, we may have a preview of what's going to happen in the debate Monday night with a debate that occurred in Florida in a congressional race that involves one Charlie Crist.
Oh.
Charlie Crist won't go away.
He's
Former
back?
Governor Charlie Crist, who lost to Marco Rubio for the U.S. Senate, is running for Congress now.
And then what if he loses this, what's he going to do? City council?
I mean,
Water commission?
Just keeps running. As long as his tan holds up, he's going to keep running.
Hey-o.
Charlie Crist was asked, both the candidates in this congressional debate were asked if they're supporting their party's nominee. So Charlie Crist was asked, are you supporting Hillary Clinton? Listen to what he said.
Oh, my gosh, I can't wait to hear this.
And listen to the reaction from the audience.
You voting for your party's nominee, Governor?
I am proud of Hillary Clinton. I think she's been a very good Secretary of State, a very good senator from the state of New York. The thing I like most about her is I believe that she is steady. I believe that she is strong. I believe that she is honest. And I look forward to voting for her.
Governor Crist?
Calling Hillary Clinton honest is a laugh line. Oh, boy.
That drew laughter and boos. Wow.
And as you'll note for the record, Florida, swing state.
Right.
That can't be
I don't
the
think
response
that helped his campaign any last night.
Lester Holt's going to have to be on guard for bursts of laughter, I think, in the audience. And maybe that's not the only line that will generate it either. For more on previewing Monday night's debate, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Bret Baier, of course, the host of Fox News Special Report, 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and now the inaugural edition last Sunday. Sunday's also 7 p.m. Chicago time. Bret, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
So the debate, it's being kind of cast in the conventional wisdom coming out of the Beltway is being kind of cast as, Trump has to clear the temperament hurdle, and Hillary maybe has a more difficult hurdle because she's got to clear the trustworthy issue. Is that your assessment of it as well? Or is it more complicated than that?
Well, I think there are a lot of chess moves potentially, but I think the bottom line is that Donald Trump has to clear the commander-in-chief hurdle. It has to get past in people's minds, the images of that they can see him behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office making decisions. And she has to be able to convince people that, one, she can handle adversity on the stage and not come across as really just going after Trump, and two, pitch what she's running for. A lot of her campaign stumps and speeches and events have been that she's not Donald Trump. And, that goes so far in what's supposed to be a change election.
I know immigration is very important for many voters, many Americans. Do you think they'll touch on that? Because we haven't really heard about her immigration plan. We've heard about Donald's, but not hers.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to touch on immigration. I bet, the latest with Charlotte and Tulsa and this environment with policing is probably going to be top of mind, I would guess. ISIS at home and abroad, and then the economy. I mean, you just heard yesterday some inside details of Hillary Clinton's estate tax plan, 65% on estate tax on the top tier. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
The difference, the contrast is Donald Trump wants to repeal the estate tax. So I think if you get them to specifics, that will be a major victory for Lester Holt.
Well, and it seems to me that that's where Hillary Clinton wants to go, right? I mean, it's just sort of almost telegraphing it. It's the temperament issue, and associated with that, to your point about just his fitness for the position, I guess is the way to describe it. Trying to get him into kind of gotcha questions. What's the capital of, Guatemala? What's the capital of, who's the foreign minister of Iran? Those kind of gotcha questions.
Yeah, she may. But, if she does that, she may come off as kind of smarty pants, kind of not a great, pitching herself.
Yeah.
I think she does want to run circles around him on policy, but in a way that is not like rubbing it in his face.
Well, and
he kind of identifies with the middle America blue collar, and they don't like when some elitist from Washington tells them what they don't know either.
Yeah, right. And for Trump, it seems to me that if he just is able to be directionally correct, then that's a win for him. He doesn't need to communicate like Bill Buckley. He just needs to kind of be directionally correct and not say something that is, just patently offensive or absurd.
I think you're right. I think the model here, and I'm guessing, who knows what Donald Trump shows up on the stage, but the model is his trip to Mexico, standing next to the Mexican president.
Yeah.
And that kind of image and that kind of tone and tenor of his delivery, I would assume is where they would like him to be.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to get ugly, or is it going to be like a little catfight, or do you think it possibly could be very boring or maybe possibly embarrassing to the American people that these are two presidential candidates?
Well, the latter may be true, but I think that I'm not sure. It's not going to be boring. I guarantee you that. No matter what happens, it's going to be fascinating just to see the dynamics of them interacting. This whole race has been like one commercial teaser up to this point. And that's why I think over 100 million is not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, right. I mean, right. All usually we say, oh, well, most people get their impression of what happened in the debate from the news coverage the night before, or the day after, because they haven't watched the debate the night before. That's not going to be the case. It doesn't look like this time around.
I don't think so. I mean, I think from everything we're seeing in the polls, there are some polling organizations that ask the question, are you going to watch the debate? Definitely. And it was up to 73%. Wow. You're talking about, those are huge numbers. I just think the interest is so high that they'll really get into it. Now, if it gets into a policy back and forth, I think the advantage goes to Hillary Clinton to be able to articulate some of that. But actually, on the plans themselves, the country may be, not ready for the third Obama term, at least if you look at the polls.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, just picking up on that point. In terms of, over the last 5 weeks, as much as I just said, he just has to be directionally correct, over the last 5 weeks with the policy speeches he's given, now those are scripted speeches, but nonetheless, the policy proposals that he and his team have produced, which is perfectly legitimate. Nobody expects just one person to do this, either candidate. They're very specific. The immigration policy was very specific. The rebuilding our military speech was very specific. Now, how much of those specifics he has at his command in an unscripted format, I don't know. But, Trump could surprise in terms of being at the ready with specifics on some of these important issues, too.
Yeah, and you look at the issue of energy, which he did yesterday. In coal-producing states, they're not lining up with Hillary Clinton. And I think, some of those are Pennsylvania, Ohio, Western Kentucky. I think, you've got swing states that are within the margin of error. So that's why these debates are so crucial. If you swing the race 2 or 3 points, this entire electoral map changes.
All right, since this debate obviously is so crucial, what are they doing for debate prep? I had heard that Donald Trump, he was going to be in New Jersey at one of his golf clubs, but they want to keep him more focused, so they're taking it to the Trump Tower.
Yeah, I think from the campaign's perspective, they've told us there hasn't been a lot of prep and that he's wanted to stay out on the trail. I can't believe that there hasn't been some, walking through this behind the scenes. And we're told he's taking Sunday all day to kind of go through this. Hillary Clinton's had numerous prep days and binders full of stuff, and she's had someone, we don't know who, playing Donald Trump. The going bet was either Mark Cuban or, yeah.
I had heard Mark Cuban.
There are always people guessing who's playing Trump in the debate press.
Maybe Zach Galifianakis. So who do you think?
Maybe.
Who do you think has kind of more at stake? Obviously they both have a huge amount at stake in terms of this debate, but the pressure, it would seem to me, is more on Hillary to get Donald Trump to prove on a national stage, international stage, 100 million people, that he is the caricature she says he is, because of where she finds herself and some of the swing state polling that Fox News has done, other swing state polling that's out today that has him in a pretty strong position right now in Iowa, moving in Colorado, other states. I mean, there was a poll yesterday that had him within 6 in Illinois. Now, I don't know if that holds up, but I mean, wow. So do you agree with that the pressure's on her?
That are just, there are polls that are just shocking. I mean, Rhode Island within 3. It's Colorado, Trump up. I mean, those things are not – Colorado is going blue. So you're right. I think that there is some pressure on Hillary to change the dynamic of the race because it clearly has shifted Trump's way. Now, with that caveat, there are still more paths for Hillary Clinton to get to 270, the electoral votes needed. But Donald Trump can run the table, and he's increasing the ways that he can if these polls are accurate.
All right. He is Bret Baier, the host of Fox News Special Report, 5 p.m. Chicago time, Monday to Friday. And now, again, the additional show that started last week, Sundays at 7 p.m. Chicago time. So you want to tune in Sunday, 24 hours before the first debate. Bret Baier, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made